And go ahead.
I'm learning about circuits.
Okay. And how is that helping you become an engineer or think about preparing your children, future children?
Because before I had no clue what a circuit was, let's be real. So I think it's good to know, and even though I'm teaching kindergarten, it's just something that you need to know, and so I feel like this class has definitely taught me stuff that I never thought that I would learn.
So even though we have, you're going to be working with kindergartners, do you think, you may probably are not going to be using the wires and stuff, but how would you use this or something like this for children like kindergartners?
Well, it's kind of like sequences, so I feel like you could compare it to that or something, because you have to have like different types of sequences with the light bulbs and the Play-Doh and stuff, so I feel like that could be something that can relate to it.
Yeah, very nice. Do you want to share something?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably. It's okay. Okay, well. So what are we creating over here?
We're creating the Hogwarts Castle for our
Oh. Now,
This is our Quidditch field.
Now, very interesting. So I see that you've drawn some things and you have some centimeters and stuff like that. Why are you adding this? What's this information for?
This is so that we know our measurements. We're gonna put a tower here and a castle thing here. And these are our measurements and drawings of what our tower and castle looks like for the
Oh,
top
fantastic.
of our shoebox.
And so how is this like being an engineer?
We are encountering a lot of trial and error
Yeah.
and learning from our mistakes, staying positive.
That is very true. And what happens when you you hit a wall and you're not sure what to do?
Then we just brainstorm some other stuff.
And how would you apply that for your future classroom?
A lot of times kids might struggle with something, and if it doesn't work, then they can like adapt what they're
Encourage them
doing.
not to shut down when things don't go their way.
Very good, yeah. And this is while you're doing these are hands-on kind of activities, and so hopefully they can apply this to just the traditional classroom learning as well. Did you think that you were going to learn that in this class?
I wasn't sure what I was going to learn in this class.
Thank you, ladies. All right. So I'm coming over here. Oh, wow. What do we have here?
This is the bottom part of our apartment. So this is the outside entrance, and then this is going to be the living room, and then the kitchen.
Fantastic. So how are you seeing engineering at work here?
Just a lot of creativity and a lot of just trying new tools and everything. So it's interesting.
And so do you see this playing out maybe something you might do for your future classroom?
Yes. Yeah.
And how do you see this in your future classroom?
I would really like to just introduce all the new tools to the kids, because I think it would be really interesting and intriguing for them. So, yeah.
Do you think this would encourage them to be more involved in school? Or?
Yes. Yeah, I think it would.
All
I
right.
think they would get excited about it.
Yeah. What do you think? What are you thinking about this in terms of engineering and just learning in general?
I think it's a really great resources to have in the classroom for elementary school kids, because a lot of times with science they're just teaching out of a textbook, and this gives them opportunity to use.
Do you think a lot of these tools you might use in the classroom?
I think it'd be nice if you can get funding for it.
Exactly. I will say that these are pretty cheap, though.
Are they?
Yeah. I mean, you can get them where they're like $80 and $90, but we found them for $25 and $30. So, you know, I mean, that could be something that either you request or, you know, buying one, having it on hand. So, fantastic. All right, let's come over here and see what we have. So what are we building over here?
I'm putting siding on.
Siding?
Yeah.
Now this is interesting. So this is an engineering class and yet you're saying you're adding siding. How does siding apply to engineering?
It's supposed to be a model, so we want it to look as realistic as possible.
Okay, I'm over here saying this is fantastic. It's a model and we want it as realistic. What are you finding out about working with these models?
It's hard to shrink everything down, but actual house has, because real houses are so detailed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what else.
Yeah. Would you like to share something? What are you noticing about engineering or things that you're taking away for your future class?
Doing things with your hands is very difficult, so I applaud engineers and builders out there. But I just made my bed frame and my nightstand with a 3D pen, and I have never used a 3D pen before.
Oh, yeah?
So I think doing this like in your classroom, teaching your kids correctly how to do it and using it in your classroom would be a really fun activity for them, but also it will be hands-on and they're learning how to make things like an engineer and doing things that an engineer would do just on a regular basis. I think the 3D pens are really good for creating smaller versions of what they have in mind and what they
Right.
have that they want to build later.
Is anything surprising you about this project?
It's very tedious, and then I think when we get to putting our lights in, that will be the real kicker, because we can make lights work without just, using them on their own, but as soon as we have to put it into our house and incorporate it into our house and put it in our rooms, I think it might be a good challenge.
The word challenge, is that a good word for children too?
Yes.
And why is that? I'm sorry, I think you're saying some great things, so I keep asking questions.
It's good to challenge your students to see what they can do and to see what their full potential is. Because if you don't ever challenge your student, you may have students that are good at things like this, and they won't be able to show you what they can really do, and they won't be able to show you that they're capable of a lot more than you're assigning them.
Right, exactly. High expectations. Fantastic. Very interesting. Is this a spider web?
Yeah.
It's exactly what you had planned it to be. So what are you learning over here?
Don't point at me. You can answer the question too.
So anything about engineering that you're taking away?
Under all this paper, we're trying to figure out how to do the circuit for the lights to go in there.
So you're having to solve a problem, huh?
Yeah, a very complicated and difficult problem for us to solve right now.
Right now. But do you feel like you're going to be successful?
Yeah, in the end.
In the end. And that's going to play out really important for students as well. Sometimes you hit challenges and realize it takes longer. Because in real life, engineers take a long time to solve these things.
Yeah.
And that'll be, I think that's a really good point to bring out. You laugh about it, but it's so much the truth. So excellent. Great job. Thank you, ladies.